Tyler, tell us a little bit about your family and faith background.
I am a native to Lancaster. I grew up on a farm in Landisville. Grew up Mennonite in a Mennonite family, very small, close-knit community. My family attended the Mennonite church until I was probably 13, 14, and then left the church to seek out a more young and vibrant community. My parents were a little bit older than I am now, so I certainly can understand. Anyway, grew up kind of bouncing around churches, and it's kind of surprising to me that I came back to a more liturgical and conservative kind of contemplative church. I feel like I came back to my roots in some sense. You wonder why people my age are finding themselves here. I think people are looking for a place to experience faith themselves. My desire was to come somewhere where I felt like the foundation was solid in scripture and in teaching, and from there I can try to weave in my experience in life and see where that falls. I always found a lot of comfort in the quiet community of the church I grew up in, and felt like that was here at St. James for me. I've lived in Lancaster City now for about 2 years and have worked as a social worker. It means a lot to me to work in my community and see the need in my community and have a position to do something.
You are working now at the Salvation Army. Talk about that work and what it means to you and your faith.
I'm currently a caseworker, mostly handling food appointments, people in need of emergency food assistance. Typically, people are facing much greater need than just food. The need in the community is really great, and even partnering with other agencies still feels like the need is overwhelming at times. I think there's something about standing in solidarity with people in need that is rewarding and dignifying. Dignity is a really important theme when I'm working with people. I think it's hard for people to come in and ask for food. If I can provide some kind of encouragement, I think that's a victory in itself. For me, the teachings of Jesus are always pointing to lowering yourself for the betterment of others. In my personal life, the way I cope with my job is understanding my own brokenness and my own need, and operating from a mindset of similarity with the people who are in need.
You have a job change coming up. Can you tell us what you'll be doing?
I'll be working as an intake social worker at the new behavioral health hospital on Harrisburg Pike. It's an intensive inpatient facility. I assume there will be challenges. I assume the work will be difficult. I'm also really optimistic about what I can learn from that work and the experiences I'll have there. I feel that I'm at a place in my life of trusting and taking risks, trusting that I'll learn and that I have the capacity to handle whatever comes down the road.
You recently shared your time and musical talent to lead our youth in a Saturday night youth mass. Tell us what led you to say yes to this opportunity.
I feel that saying yes has blessed my life in a way that I open myself up to the possibility of what could be. For me, it's meaningful to use my gifts to contribute to others. I had, in passing, met some of the youth here and there, and I'm kind of in between the adult generation of the church and the youth generation of the church, and I love music. I've had people in my life who've stepped in and brought music into my life, and I thought if I could do that for someone else, that would be great. Something I was surprised by with that youth mass was how much I enjoyed the imperfection of the performance. That's not to say that the students weren't great, because they were. But in my own work, in my own life, I can be so concerned with doing things correctly, or I can overemphasize the details. But at the end of the day, I think just being there and being present and expressing ourselves through music and through worship is a beautiful thing, and it's all the same in God's eyes.
Never
How has working with people in need changed how you think about generosity and gratitude?
I think people in poverty operate from a mindset of scarcity in a lot of situations, and it's understandable why they would. I think a lot of wealthy people operate from a mindset of scarcity as well. Something I've learned in the past year or two in trying to understand the teachings of Jesus is when you take steps towards that abundance mindset, you find yourself changed by it. Giving to St. James has blessed my life in that I can support something that I value, and I've found that using my money to further things that I want to see grow is a beautiful thing. I think a lot of people are controlled by money. I think giving money puts some of the control back in your hands. To tie in gratitude, I think gratitude is operating from a place that isn't scarcity, or understanding God's abundant love and God's abundant grace for us in life. I think every teaching of Jesus points to that abundance and that trust in there being enough for everyone. It's a lofty goal, but if every person were in that mindset of abundance, there would not be as many problems of scarcity. Sometimes it's funny to me that there are a lot of people who cook big meals for their whole neighborhood and yet rely on food from a food bank. Seeing that generosity in a population that doesn't have very much to give is reminiscent of the woman who gave her one coin. I feel like gratitude is a position of the heart, and with each action, you cultivate that position. With every action of giving, you trust more in the abundance rather than seeing the scarcity. It's not an overnight thing. I have to be really patient with myself as I work on that. I think God is patient with us too. I hope